What is going on YouTube? Team Gradelock here. I'm the AlphonZeus, Team Gradelock. And I gotta say to all my wonderful fuck faces in the world, yes, miss you, love you. Here with Paul with his dark face, because his face is dark and
whoa!
It's
not wrong. He is not wrong.
Even.
He is not wrong.
30 seconds into the video, God damn it, Henry.
I'm sorry, the card literally says dark face. What do you want me to say?
I would like to introduce you all to Spirit Panda.
Damn it.
Starts off.
This one's named John. This was Ian. That one is somebody that I adopted.
You didn't find out yet. You'll find out sometime.
I'll find out eventually.
Eventually.
You'll eventually find out it's Eric.
Alright, now to the profile.
Alright, homies. As AlphonZeus duly introduced us, this is Darkface because, you know, his face is dark. So, starts off, we have our starter, childhood command, Rosenberg. I feel that's from whatever. So, as standard, 5k, whatever, Forerunner. So, his skill is Act, Dark Device. Dark Device is going to say it once for the rest of the video. For Dark Device to be live, your opponent has to have no rear guards in the same column as the card, or no rear guards that are standing. So everything has to be at rest or not present. So his Dark Device is shove him into soul, choose one of your opponent's rear guards. At the end of your opponent's turn, it cannot intercept. It cannot be it gets what we call reverse resist. Card cannot be chosen by costs or effects of other cards. Trivia: the card cannot also be selected by triggers. So you put this on a rear guard in the front. Opponent hits a crit trigger. Sad, happy days for the opponent. So and also another effect: you can rest one of your opponent's rear guards. Not stun, rest. You know, baddies like Henry think it's like stun. So now I'm gonna jump into the threes and go 3 2s 1 0s. So we're gonna start with our boy, the darkest of faces. Play 4 obviously because he's our break stride. Grade 3 twin dry, 11k base. His on stride skill, counterblast 1. When you stride over him, you can counterblast 1 as I just said. I say it twice. So choose 2 of your opponent's units. They cannot stand. They are forced at rest. Thanks, John. Thanks, good John. It rests them. They cannot restand. And if they still remain on your
I'm right behind the camera. Come on.
You know I love you secretly. So, Modesto, please don't watch the video. So, it cannot restand, and if it's still remaining there at the end of the turn, you get to draw a card off. You may draw a card off. The opponent. I may draw. It's confusing. I use it on my opponent. If their rear guards that targeted by the skill are still there, I may choose to draw 2 cards. 1 for each one. Good card. Oh no, wait. Why was I gonna put this away? GB2. This is why honestly it makes him amazing. I feel like he's one of the best GB2s in the game. If your opponent calls a unit in any way, shape, or form, Soul Blast 2, just rest it on your opponent's turn. That's why I really like this card. So then our other grade 3. I started play testing it. I used to play Break Ride, but I wanted to try some G regulation, whatever, just try it out. And I actually really fell in love with the card. So ignore this counterblast 1 skill. We don't play for that. Too much counterblast. No. On call, you could just freely if Dark Device is active, when it's placed on rear guard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and it cannot stand in your opponent's next stand phase. So when you G-Rare them, the G-Rare says your opponent cannot call units, but his units still restand. So he counterblasts 2, play him for free, choose one of your opponent's units, it cannot restand. So it really helps just freeze your opponent for a full turn. That's why we really like it. And I mean, sometimes I have to ride him, but I really don't. Honestly don't. So then grade 2s, super important. Play 4 12Ks, arguably the most important grade 2 in the entire deck. One of the most important units in the whole deck. Swings for 12 if all my opponent's units are at rest. The reason why that's important, I feel like Megacolony play is very minimalist. You want to call as little as possible to your board and get the most value out of it. So 12K requires no booster. Also, if you put a special trigger behind them, one of those 4Ks, it swings for 16. Super important. It also just requires all your opponent's units to be at rest, which is super easy. It doesn't require no Dark Device. Only thing holding it back is his GB1, but you want to see him every single game. He's like your main squad mate. So then we play 4 of Punish Stag. Amazing Dark Device, 9K. Dark Device. Obviously meaning units cannot be stood in the same column. So you play him, no counterblast, no soul blast, just choose one of your opponent's units. If you have a Dark Phase Vanguard, it gets plus 2k to end the turn, so it swings for 11. Like I said, minimalist, so you don't have to call a booster, it just swings for 11. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, it gets the red text. Cannot. I believe this one is cannot stand. If it's already rested during your opponent's end phase, you get to draw a card, and it cannot stand during your opponent's end phase. It doesn't force the rest, so you kind of just apply this on an already rested unit. Then for my last grade 2, we play 3 cyclic sickle mutant Aristocyte.
That's a name.
Word. So it's a 9K Dark Device that's not Generation Break, so you could do it early in the game. Gets +2 when it attacks. 11K attacker. If you notice the common theme with all my rear guards that I'll be placed into attacking, to attack, 11K, 12, 11, 11. They all don't require boosters. So the reason for that is you want to, sometimes if you're short on cards, you don't want to like require a booster just to reach over 11 or 10. Just call your grade 2, stun your opponent's units, and just play the game. For your opponent to guard these attacks, mind you, they're normally 5K drops. 5K drops are combo pieces, cards that they might not want to drop, like a Mellow, or an Upstream, or Stride Assist. So I feel like 5K drops are the most important. So we go to grade 1s. For Stride Assist, this is a Generation Break deck, a Stride Break base deck. You want to play 4 of these. Not only can you pitch them to fulfill the complete cost for a Stride, you can pitch a grade 3, albeit the grade 3 that we do not want to ride. Reveal it, search for our Darkface, discard it. It's for consistency, mainly just consistency. Then we play this young that was from a boy, Lafaretti. Lafaretti is amazing because A, Dark Device, when he's in the column, your opponent's units in the same column cannot intercept, which it denies your opponent's shield. I've actually won a lot of games because 2 of them are on, and it's not Generation Break. So if you're in time and your opponent's relying on an intercept to save him or give him an extra shield, it denies them that. Also, during your main phase, at the beginning, you may shove it into Soul if you have a Dark Phase Vanguard, unflip the damage, and also it gains resist if you have a Dark Phase Vanguard as well. So it offers all this stuff in this little text box.
Okay.
So we play 2. I actually see a lot of comments on like the Wikipedia, YouTube. A lot of people don't like this card. I have a lot of positive test results with this card. It's Bullet Mutant Pillbugler. I love him a lot. He feels really good to me as opposed to the 7K on call.
Feels good to you?
Feels good to me, bro. I don't know. I really like the card. So it's a 6K base, which I don't mind because, oh man, look at those swinging for 11s and 12s, making those magic numbers. So we don't mind that at all. It's never a problem. Dark Device, when your opponent swings at your Vanguard, is it just Vanguard? Correct. Just Vanguard, when your opponent swings at it, you can Soul Blast 1, move it from the field into the Guardian Zone, and it offers 10k shield. So it's really good early game. You can rush your opponent, call it as a booster. When your opponent goes to retaliate, you can just move it up and guard with it. Again, really good at when you guys are in time. You play him. He serves as both offense and defense. He just comes in clutch. He's just a booster. He does what a booster does. Makes cards bigger, but he has that double purpose of guarding. And then obviously we play 4 Unflipping Perfect Guards because does this deck need Counterblast? Megacolony probably, in my opinion, consumes the most amount of Counterblast per turn to make plays that involve controlling the opponent's board. And there's literally only 3 good sources of counter charge, which is, balance. We have our Perfect Guard, and we have Vulcan. And we have what I'm going to show next. So obviously you need your 4 Unflipping Perfect Guards. I mean, unless you want to be a baller like John and play like 2 Perfect Guards, that's up to you. Who fears Blizzard anymore?
Okay, thanks guys.
So we play 4 stand triggers. My trigger lineup is 8 crit, 4 stand. A lot of people want to play 12 crit, which makes a lot of sense because this deck is a control deck, doesn't really make big numbers, so you want the 12 crits because we want to prey on top decks to win our games, right, Vanguard? So, but we play this stand in particular because it unflips damage. It gives me soul charge for my Darkface skills. And it actually also stuns a unit in your opponent's back row, which is really useful. So just that unflip is super clutch. And I'm going to show you guys when I get to that stride zone why it's super important for this card. Then we play as part of our 8 crits. This is the Darkface crit. When you swing with a Darkface Vanguard, you may put it in the soul, give your Vanguard +5, and draw a card. Soul charges for Darkface's GP2 skill, and you draw a card, and it makes your Vanguard bigger. It does what it's. There's a whole series of these, and if you're playing Darkface, why not play his crit?
Seems logical.
Fucking logical.
Okay.
I did that.
Alright.
I did
And we're just showing the rest of the triggers now.
Swag Butterfly.
Swag Butterfly?
Swag Butterfly. 4 daggers, no fucks. Machine swag. And then we play, I get all the shit in the world for this. I play 4 of these delicious heals.
Honeybee.
Yeah, I love Honeybee. I like Honeybee a lot. I mean, like, you could play the girl with the glasses who may or may not be a grandma, may or may not be a little girl, you know, kawaii as fuck, whatever. But I play this, so it's either grandma girl, you know, we don't know what it is yet, a butterfly, no, a moth, or we play our Honeybee that is a woman. She's 100% woman. Leave her alone. Don't assume her gender.
Assuming. Assuming.
I just assumed her gender.
No.
Oh no, I assumed you're assuming. Yes, I did.
Are you not PC, bro?
I'm not PC.
Are you not PC?
Alright, so.
So Spirit Panda approves of my deck.
Alright, on to
Now-
the stride zone, right?
Stride Zone. Now we're gonna move on to Ian Panda here. Ian Panda. So we run 1 Wildfire Mutant Deity Staggle Dipper. Skill, Canvas 1, reveal any card from these good G zones. Give 3 units on your board, up to 3 units on your board, plus 1k for every one of your opponent's units at rest. You play the 1 because if my opponent is trying to play around me and they call it 1 unit in the beginning of the game, go into him just to go to GB2 as immediate as possible. Or late game, when your opponent's like 5, 6 units at rest, you can give 3 units 6k, 5k. They make huge columns. No. That was my associate there. He's a great person. Plays Magic.
I'll cut that out.
Swag is fun.
It's okay.
You can leave it in there. We have him being racist in the first freaking 5 seconds.
30 seconds in. God dang it.
All that's still Darkface. I'm sorry you got triggered.
I'm sorry. I'm SJW. You know what? I appreciate what I can do. Dab on it. Now, to the second. So, you know, I was gonna go to.
Speaking of swag,
Speaking of swag, we're gonna go to my boy, the winner of the Young Games, the generation of the Stride, because Henry cannot afford them. So we have 3 of these because it's a good card. So skill, Counterblast 2, act skill when you're in GB2. Counterblast 2, you do not flip on the copy, but you do have to discard a card. Your opponent simply cannot call units at all until his end phase. So you pretty much tell your opponent, nah, you good. You wanted to play the game, I say no. No game for you. This card's really good against Royal Paladins, Shadow Paladins, Royal Paladins, Pale Moons, Henry.
You can't stop my dad.
Can't stop the dab. So this card Counterblast 2, when you do it multiple turns in a row, it is super costly, but
I think I found the name of the video.
it's super effective. Dab on it,
Can't stop the dabbing.
can't stop dab. So it's 2 Counterblasts every turn. Technically, if you do it in a row, that's 6 Counterblasts. If you do all 3 in a row, that means you lost. We don't want that. So that's why we play the stand trigger, as mentioned before. It's your main. Honestly, I would say it's one of your main win conditions of the deck. Definitely this card, forcing your opponent into a corner. The units that he would call on the board, he's forced to use the guard. So your opponent really denies plays. And when you combine it with like the units that stun cards on the opponent's board, he can't even attack with his units. The main thing you want to do with this is like there's a Counterblast 3 play. You stride on top of him, Counterblast 1, rest 2 units, they do not restand. Then his skill, Counterblast 2, opponent can't call. Meaning he cannot call on top of the units that he targeted for the draw skill to get rid of that. So you're gonna get guaranteed 2 draws for the next turn to make up for his discard one. So it's really good. Then we play 4, sorry Ian. So then we play 4 Merciless Mutant Deity Darkface.
Was about to forget.
He's Darkface, but darker somehow. He's probably been in the sun for way too long.
he's dark.
He's so dark, bro.
The next generation.
Next generation of darkness. So Counterblast 1, Dark Device, as I've explained many times before. You flip up a copy of anything in your G zone. You choose up to 1 of your opponent's rear guards for every copy of himself in your G zone. You you don't force them at rest, but they can restand. Yeah, they can restand, but they cannot intercept, and they also get that reverse resist, which is really good. So if you do it against a Shadow Paladin player, you cannot choose those units to be sacrificed. If you do it against Bermuda, they cannot bounce those units to the hand. So on and so forth. And for every unit he chooses with his effect, he gets 5k. So he can be at the max 41k just on his own. He's really good for power, forces your opponent to play around this card. They have to go really minus just to prevent, just to do whatever they want to do. Especially if you get to target 3 of their units. It's amazing.
And it's not GB2. That can be your first stride.
Yeah, and it can be your first stride to target one thing. I've done it like several times. It's either that or that, put you in GB2 immediately if you know you're going to get rushed. So you could counter with his GB2 as soon as possible. Okay. This is honestly my favorite stride of all of them. We play my boy Poison Spear Mutant v the Paraspirit. This card's been a classic ever since Megacolny got their support. It was their only good stride. I don't want to hear that on-hit stride is good. It's an on-hit stride, counter blast 2. No. Free 5k if your opponent has 3 or more rested units. Free 5k, free draw. That's it. Power, draw a card. Woo. He also rests all your opponent's units first, which helps your Dark Device skills go off. So he is amazing. No matter how many times my Canadian friend doesn't want to play this card, it's amazing. John, don't defend yourself. There are 2 Johns behind this video. One of them I like more than the other.
Well, that'll be a mystery.
Yeah. Now you guys have to fight for it. Look at that.
Next video.
Nostalgia. No. Spirit Panda proofs. So, play 2 of this G-Guard. This is pretty much our defeat flare. This is our defeat flare clone. So when your opponent's Vanguard attacks your Vanguard, counterblast 1, say fuck you Henry, take his whole, just like that, it's in the text, swearsies. You rest this whole back row. Love you Henry. Please don't hate me. Okay, I'm gonna say this right here. This guy bought one of these from me and for 10 bucks and proceeded to sell it for 22 in front of my very eyes.
This?
Within the first, yes.
10?
I had an extra one, yeah. He got it for 10 and then proceeded to sell it for $22 in front of me. I'm not gonna say his name though. I don't want anyone to hate him.
You just said his name. Like
I know I did. I love him though.
You got vended.
I got vended real hard. I deserve it though, I'm a douchebag. So you look at the deck I'm playing. So you rest your opponent's whole back row, and this card gets plus 5k for every 2 units of your opponent's at rest. So at most, it could be a 25k shield if you decide to get super greed. It also stops cards like Crayon Tiger, all those Amber clones. It's really, really strong. And then you
nod
play.
your head at me.
But it only works when your opponent's Vanguard attacks yours.
It's only when a Vanguard attacks a Vanguard, correct. Lastly, we play. I feel like this is also one of the best simple G-Guards in the game. If your opponent has 2 or more rested units, the Vanguard obviously counts as a unit. It gets plus 5k, so it guards for 20. So your opponent swings at you with just a boosted Vanguard, 20. One of my G-Guards, I play 5 mainly because I want options. And also there's like some sort of thing where, let's say you have 3 face up in your G-Zone, you can guard double even with 3. You can use your last 2 even with 3 face up in the G-Zone. Because you need 4 face up in the G-Zone, obviously. But yeah, that's why I
But
personally
you can never do that.
Yeah, I can never do that because
You don't play Legion.
I don't play Legion, but you know, cute rule. Options, we like options. So yeah guys, this is Paul from Team Rogue, guest starring here on Henry Rico and the Squad Mates channel.
And I'm the AlphonZeus team.
Oh, I'm
Team
sorry,
Gradelock.
the AlphonZeus and Team Gradelock has allowed me to do this deck profile. He said he was gonna sign my first job. So yeah, he said he was gonna sign my first job, bro.
Yes.
Damn.
Alright, so this is the deck that beats Henry out of every tournament. It makes him want to kill me.
But it never beats the AlphonZeus team.
It never beats AlphonZeus and Team Gradelock.
Nobody
Never.
beats Alphonse.
No one beats
No
Alphonse.
one beats AlphonZeus.
I beat.
Well, alrighty, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, do subscribe. It's free. And if you want to comment down below,
Wow, it's free?
Yeah, it's free. I'm sorry.
Did I just hear Henry say free in the
Yeah,
same
it's free,
sentence?
Free.
Spear Panda approves.
Remember, if you want to comment down below and saying how shitty Paul is, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly
How
fine.
shitty Henry is, how shitty John is, it is perfectly
Both
fine.
Johns, both Johns.
We love you no matter what. So
This-
hit the like button. If
this
you want more
playmat's
videos,
free
Team
to the
Gradelock.
500
And I'm the
subscribers.
AlphonZeus Team Gradelock, and now I'm signing out.
Aw.